Welcome, everyone, to episode 423 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Corey.
I'm Eric.
Today's topic, we are going to be talking about World of Warcraft Classic. Came out, I guess it's about a week ago now, right?
Yeah, it was last Monday.
Last Monday, okay. And the three of us, streamed it 3 nights in a row last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Put a fair amount of time in. I know mine and Corey, that's kind of our first experience with it. Eric had played a little bit more and played quite a bit more after me and Corey and him played last week. So that's going to be our main topic for this week. Anyone have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode?
I don't think so. Nothing new that I've played. I played a little Fallout 4 this week. Gosh, I feel like there was one thing that I played, but I can't think of it now.
Okay.
Oh well, maybe it'll come to me.
Yeah. Eric, anything to tease?
Not really. No.
Okay.
Nothing other than Warcraft for me.
Gotcha. I played Pokemon Masters, which is the new Pokemon mobile game. And then I also played some Astral Chain. So we'll talk a little bit about that during what we played later on in the episode. So, but yeah, let's talk about World of Warcraft. So, and I don't even know why I was so interested in this. I was kind of anti World of Warcraft back in the day because we were EverQuest loyalists, I guess. Me and Corey and our group of friends, kind of. We had a couple outcasts in our friends group that played World of Warcraft, but yeah, we all played EverQuest. So I don't know what it was about it really that drew me to it initially. I don't know. I thought it was such a good idea to launch the original 2004 version of Warcraft.
You know what it is, Dan?
What's that?
I think it's the historical aspect of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a storied game at this point. It's legendary at this point.
Oh yeah.
And we never experienced it when
back
it
in its
first was
heyday.
released.
Yeah.
So it's almost like going to a museum, and getting to see the Warcraft exhibit.
Yeah. There is a little bit about that, and it came out obviously 15 years ago at this point. And 15 years in internet time is a very, very, very long time. So it really does kind of feel like ancient history,
Yeah, and I think Eric, actually, you brought up while we were streaming the fact that they replicated the way the latency would have worked at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They went serious. Like they tried to make it as though you were playing over terrible 2004 internet.
That's awesome.
Which we largely figured was dial-up for a lot of people, and there was even
for a
jokes.
lot of people it was.
Yeah, there was even
joke.
People.
They were trying to make it so that you would feel like you were playing at a 300 ping and not a 30. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people joked in the chat about how bad their internet was when they first played, not the chat, but you know what I mean, the global chat or whatever,
yeah,
local general chat. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, joking about how bad their internet was.
Mm-hmm. No, it's been really awesome seeing just how excited that entire community has been over this last week. I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it too. Like it's a thing right now. It's what's the word? It's the zeitgeist, right? Is that the right word? Everybody wants to be in on that, and us included, because it's a big gaming event, more or less.
I mean, a lot of people have been pretty serious about, like, they're going back to Classic and they're not going back to retail. Like, I've seen a lot of people talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would almost be the second part of the whole thing is, like, what is it about that formula back then that speaks to people even now?
Yeah.
It's a difficult game. Like, World of Warcraft isn't difficult anymore, but it was in 2004. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's hard now.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to level a character up. Like now you can do like 1 to whatever their max level is now, like 120. Like you can do 1 to 120 in like 2 days. Like not even trying super hard.
And
I think that has something to do with it too.
Don't they even sell potions that make it so you are immediately max level?
Yep.
Yes. So there's kind of no sense of accomplishment there, really. If you're just bouncing right up to the max level and missing out on how many hours worth of content Like,
so much.
yeah, you know, because
So much.
a lot of the vanilla game is still there, right? It's
Oh yeah,
changed forms
it's
a
all
little
still
bit,
there, but they've changed a ton and like made all of the quests easier. Like you remember when we were looking for Princess, that
yes,
boar princess?
yep,
Yeah.
Turns out I was looking for her where she would be in retail, which is right in front of the quest giver, but she's actually like way far away. Like we needed to go like 10 minutes east to find her, which is where
oh,
she was back in the day.
gotcha,
Well, we'll have to go kill her.
yeah,
We will. It's on.
just because.
Just because.
Yeah, so like is it almost the difference between having, I was going to try to use a food metaphor here, but the whole idea of like delayed gratification, like you have to put in your work before you can reap the rewards, and maybe it's the whole like Dark Souls thing of it's very challenging, but once you reach whatever threshold you're trying to reach, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, and it definitely feels that way. Like the classic is more of the journey, whereas like current day WoW, like you want to get to the max levels so you can start doing like all the end game stuff.
And I think another thing we brought up a couple times was just how peaceful it was to play the game.
Yeah, it's zen.
It was weirdly zen. Like I just picture back in the day, even it wasn't zen for me like way back in the day. And I brought up EverQuest a lot because that's what we experienced, but it was extraordinarily stressful. But to be able to, know, I don't know if it's because we're older, but be able to go back and play a game like we played way back in the day, it was extremely relaxing. And by the end of it, not that I was bored, but I was like, I'm tired from just all the
bedtime.
Relaxation. Yeah,
It's bedtime now.
Yeah, exactly.
I did my questing for a couple hours. I adventured with the boys. Now it's time to go get some sleep.
I wasn't in fight or flight mode like I get when I play Mario Kart, or when I would play Guild Wars. It would take me hours to sort of like calm down afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, I think that goes back to the whole delayed gratification thing too. Is like you're just kind of going through the motions over and over again, which can be very zen. Kind of get in that state of flow, as opposed to a more modern game, which would constantly be like
bombarding your senses,
progressing, and bombarding all that visual feedback and stuff like that. You're not really getting that in Warcraft. It's like in South Park, you're just slaying boars forever, almost,
And that's one of the big difference between like current Warcraft and classic Warcraft is when you log into like today's Warcraft, you do get bombarded by all that craziness.
Yeah.
It's not the same game. It's not even close. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
Just how far separated they are.
I also, in that regard, really liked how we kind of had to hike around quite a bit to accomplish anything, including even just getting the griffin paths. Are they griffins? Is that what they are?
Yeah, they're griffins.
Yeah, getting the griffin paths. We like made that a little game within a game. It was something we didn't need to do, but it was just something we kind of wanted to do to make our lives a little bit easier. But that in itself required its own
track
set of set of our own initiative to make that easier for ourselves.
Yeah, and it was nice too to have a guide, because Eric kind of knew what he was doing. Actually, you really knew what you were doing. Not kind of.
The first couple areas I know pretty well.
Okay.
So everything after that, we would be unknown territory if we keep playing.
Gotcha.
Maybe once a week or something.
Yeah, which we plan on trying to do anyway. I've got a ton of games on my plate right now, but I would very much like to continue this, because it was a blast. And like I said, once we talked about it, but maybe planning a once a week type of thing, and kind of anyone who wants to join in is welcome to do so.
Yeah,
get Will on this.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
gameplay wise, what did we think? I know what I thought. I thought it was awesome. And they always like the I don't know, kind of the consensus from EverQuest players was that World of Warcraft was like easy. It was like baby's first MMORPG, which is actually not the case, having played it, but kind of the way the cartoony graphics and stuff were. That was I'm sure you remember that, Corey. That was our thought process back in the day.
Sure.
But that's actually very much not the case. It's fairly difficult.
We were small-minded back then. It's okay.
Sure. Well, we were loyal fanboys of EverQuest.
That's right. Yeah. We had no reason to be impartial.
Right. Exactly. So, but yeah, we should say what we made too. We ended up on a Eastern server, which the name I can't think of right now.
Ash Candy.
Yeah, Ash Candy. Everyone was saying Ass Candy in the chat, so that's how I remembered it. But we all wanted to be together, so we started as humans. I made a human warrior. Corey, what would you end up making?
I was a human priest.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I was a mage.
I think I said to you guys that I kind of just like the idea of sitting back and spamming heals as opposed to having to do anything else. But what was interesting about that is the game was really easy for like the first 5 levels, and then all of a sudden I had to start throwing out heals.
Yeah.
And I think we died a couple times.
Which is again quite a bit different than a more modern RPG. Like you could probably get through the entire newbie area without even coming close to dying once.
Yeah.
I felt that way with. I'm going to use Guild Wars because that's the most recent MMORPG I played. But Guild Wars, you could get through the entire first zone without even coming close to dying. You could easily do everything in there solo, or they kind of group solo too. They had events that you could do, so you weren't by yourself. But yeah, that was kind of not the case in Warcraft.
Yeah,
you can solo that stuff, but it's quite a bit more difficult. We got trained a few times, which is also something I don't remember seeing in any more recent MMORPG.
Yeah, they took that out not super quick, but that was part of the streamlining of Warcraft.
Gotcha. Yeah.
In fact, let me see. When did they take that out?
It was like a piece, like Corey said, a piece of history. Getting run down by a train in a mine. That sort of stuff just didn't happen anymore because spawns were spaced out enough. They didn't have super long aggro ranges, so if you got far enough away, like you'd be able to break away and.
Well, even then, as soon as I feel like the modern implementation of that is as soon as somebody attacks a mob, it becomes locked to that player character.
Yeah.
So you're immune to it, I think.
Until the other character dies or gets away, and then the mob will go back to its spot that it was before it even attacks anything else that's nearby.
Right.
Which is interesting. So Eric, you played quite a bit more and experienced a lot more than we did. What are some of your thoughts on Warcraft? WoW Classic.
Thought number one is the community is 100% better on the classic servers than it is on the current servers. I logged on to I guess they're on Battle for Azeroth now. I logged on to a BFA server a couple days ago just to see what was going on, and the general chat is unreadable. Everybody's throwing insults at each other and just being ridiculous and being like, well, everybody's coming back from Classic soon. And then you go into Classic and it's just filled with people like, hey, I got extra bags. Anybody need bags? Like, hey, I got this thing. Like, does anybody need this? Like, I'll meet you in Goldshire in 20 minutes. I got to run there. Like, it's night and day, and it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, comment, making jokes. Like, the entire thing was funny. I don't know that I saw it. We played probably roughly 8 hours. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I saw anyone having an argument.
No, I can't think of one.
Other than me throwing rude gestures at people.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, whenever they would
taking our mobs.
Yeah. Whenever they would steal our kills.
Yeah. These Murlocs are for everybody.
Except just us.
Right.
Yeah, except just us for now.
/rude.
Okay.
I had an interesting thought.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think I said to you guys on stream too, is I was thinking about the position that Blizzard as a whole was in back then as opposed to now. And I realized in playing WoW Classic how much I've learned about the Warcraft universe just from playing Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, nowadays we have Overwatch, right, which would probably be the biggest. We have Heroes of the Storm. We have Diablo 3. We have... I gotta be missing something, right? Hearthstone, obviously.
Isn't Destiny on the...
Destiny is on there, and some of the more recent Call of Duties are on there too.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I don't know or recall whether Blizzard was the powerhouse then that it is now.
They were not.
Yeah, I think WoW kind of made them what they are now.
Yes,
right. That was their.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Like they had, Diablo 2 was like widely popular, and Warcraft 3 was widely popular, and StarCraft 1 was widely popular. But I'm pretty sure StarCraft 2 came out well after StarCraft 1.
Yeah, it came
Yeah,
out.
And well after WoW.
Yeah, that came out. I want to say like
StarCraft 2,
2006 or 7.
StarCraft 2 2010.
Oh, it was
So even later than we thought.
Later than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were not this big. That like they really ballooned because of the popularity of World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else you got, Eric?
Warcraft related.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having a great time, man. That's all I got. If anybody out there is like on the fence, hop in and give it a shot, because classic is classic.
Yeah, because we had some people ask us in the chat like what you have to do to play. You don't have to actually buy the game. You just have to pay a monthly sub, which is for us here in New York, it comes like 16 something with tax. So and then you get a full month's worth of playtime. So even if you don't end up loving it, or if you get a few hours in, it's worth the $15 plus tax to just experience it now while it's popular. And I don't know, I kind of think it's going to stay popular at least for a while.
I read somewhere that the Warcraft subscription numbers are peaking. Like they're coming up at the highest they've ever been.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Weren't they at like 11 million in the old heyday?
Yeah.
12 million or something like that?
Yeah. I'm trying to look this up to make sure I'm not making this up, but I'm pretty sure I read this somewhere like just a day or two ago.
That is insane.
And it's because of classic.
Yeah, we should say and I had to take a quick phone call while you guys were chatting, so I apologize if this is what you just talked about. But the capacity of the servers, there were some issues there, especially with the PvP servers, with extremely long queue times. And I guess they're still having issues, because I saw today that they're opening character transfers in the near future so people can move their character off a high population server to a lower population server.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, what was that?
They're allowing character transfers because of server queues.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And that's also going to be helpful later for if this all does die off, people can transfer off of Dead Realms onto popular ones.
Yep.
Yeah, so one question I had actually is where do they take this? And this is something we talked about during the stream too. Do you guys think they're going to keep it like just straight vanilla, or do you think it's going to slowly add some of the elements from the at least early World of Warcraft?
Well, we know we're getting 4 phases of patches, like pre the first expansion.
Okay.
I'm looking those up right now. But they haven't come out and said there's anything else planned after that.
Right.
But the rumors are that if it stays popular, they will release new servers that will be like Cataclysm servers or Wrath of the Lich King servers, and you can take your character and transfer it to that server if you want to go to the next expansion. But they're also going to leave up the classic servers for people that just want to stay in vanilla forever.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That would be cool if they ultimately did that, and like you said, so slowly add the expansions that they ended up coming out with. That would be ideal. I mean, I don't know what kind of workload that involves, but hey, if the numbers stay up,
I mean, it's all done, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, they're literally going back 2 patches. Like with this current patch that we're playing on right now, like there are bugs that are in there on purpose because that's what was in on that patch number.
Right.
So I mean, they have it. It wouldn't be that much extra work except for buying the new servers, which I'm sure is a pain.
Yeah, it's cool though.
It is cool.
Here's what I want them to do with it, is do like an alternate Warcraft universe, like a Star Trek.
Events are different.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Release like a new expansion that's only for like the classic version of the game. That doesn't make any big like rule changes or anything like that, but just adds content that fits the vanilla gameplay.
Yeah, keep that old school difficult vibe, like slow grindy vibe, but like give us some new cool stuff.
Yeah.
And people have been joking about that stuff in the general chat for a while. Just like, I don't want to, like, just story beats. Like, Thrall's not going to go away this time. He's just going to stay forever and love us.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice. Uh-oh. Corey?
Did Corey just disappear?
I think so.
Uh-oh.
Anyway.
All right.
Dang it, now I lost my train of thought. I had another question I was going to ask. I don't know. So you said you played quite a bit more of the game. Did you hoard different character classes? Like, what was your consensus?
I kind of jumped all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I leveled a orc warrior to 8.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see some of the like vanilla horde stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think I got like an undead warlock up to 5 or something.
Okay.
And these are just like several hours on
Sure.
all these characters basically. The character I put the most time into was actually a human warrior like yours, Dan. And
Okay.
I got up to level 14 over the course of a couple days.
Okay.
And that was pretty much the extent of it.
Nice.
A lot of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, what's your plan going forward? Just to keep bouncing around, or are you gonna pick a character to main, or?
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I'm still not sure if I've settled down on the character I want to main yet. Like, I'm thinking I might start a human warlock and see where that takes me.
Okay.
So we'll
Very
see.
Nice.
I'm really bad about that in general. So.
Yeah, it takes me a while bouncing around too in an MMORPG to kind of find what I think I'm going to stick with for however many hours it takes me to get to the max level or whatever.
Yeah, like
So-
Guild Wars, I went between like Elementalist and Mesmer like a million times. Corey's
Yeah.
bad.
Sorry, I kicked my plug for my modem.
It happens.
Oops.
Okay. Corey, plans for Warcraft?
No big plans. I think just a gentle cruise through to max level, right? Is the ultimate plan.
Yeah,
man.
I would like to do that.
Maybe start a
Sometime in
guild someday.
2022.
Yep, 2022. That sounds good.
Might take me that long. All right. Any other thoughts on WoW Classic?
Buy it.
Yeah,
Pay the
play
$15.
it.
Give it a shot.
it also runs exceptionally well. I think probably on most computers. The specs are ridiculously low.
Oh yeah.
So you should be able to run it on a toaster.
And if you start it up, it starts your video settings on what they call classic.
Classic, yeah.
Which is almost all the way down.
Yep.
So if you want to crank it, crank it.
Yeah, which is what I ended up doing, too, by the way.
I did too, yeah.
So, okay. Corey,
Yeah.
any other thoughts before we get into
No.
double bits?
Nope. I agree.
Okay.
Worth it.
All right. Eric, I know you looked up some nibble bits before we started, so what do you got?
Number 1, Nintendo Direct tomorrow.
Yay!
Yay! Apparently it's 40 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
which means it's going to be jam-packed full of good stuff.
All right.
40 minutes is a long time. So,
That's a long time.
yeah, we know they're talking about Luigi's Mansion and Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, there's lots of speculation.
Probably Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of interviews with those guys. Apparently, they may be bringing an update to the Nintendo Online service.
Mm-hmm.
There are rumors of them adding Super Nintendo games,
Yeah, I've heard
but
that.
there's also rumors of the price going up. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I heard too Overwatch on Switch.
Ooh,
I've heard Tracer possibly coming to Smash because of Overwatch on Switch. I've also heard an old SNK character coming to Smash. So I don't know what that could mean. That's all speculation. We don't know. But we'll know tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern is when the direct. I think it's Eastern. Dang it! I had it right here a second ago. I believe it's
3
Eastern.
p.m. Pacific.
Oh,
6
Pacific.
p.m. Eastern.
Oh, dang it! That's a bad time. Oh well, I'll still be able to
Yeah,
watch
it
it.
was a bad time.
Okay. What else you got?
Final Fantasy VIII Remaster is out on PC as of today, I
Yay.
think. I don't have it yet, so I got nothing on it, but I want that.
So I was just curious about that. So I logged into Steam and saw that it has mostly negative reviews.
They always do.
Like 34% or something like that positive.
Pretty low.
What
Um,
happened?
I guess the main complaints are that they're calling it a remaster, but it's still like 4:3, and the FMV is 15 frames per second, and the gameplay is just 30. I don't know. I guess that it has to do with the fact that they're calling it a remaster when it's not really.
Okay.
I mean, don't all these Square remasters come out and they're terrible, and then they get patched and they're fine?
Yes, that's usually the case.
Like,
I
weren't
don't
the
know,
reviews
yeah.
of like the Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy IV on Steam really bad, and then they
I
got
know.
fixed up? And then I know Chrono Trigger, everybody was losing their freaking minds.
People hated the new sprites in Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, that's why that reviewed so poorly.
Me being one of them, but they actually added a way that you could use the original sprites, I think, later on. So, but I wouldn't be enough of a cause for me to review bomb the game because that's not my style.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger got hit hard. Like, I'm looking at the graph, and like the most negative reviews they ever got was like first day of release, and everything after that's been positive. So
Okay.
something to think about.
I think, yeah, it's the tough part with me. I can kind of see the negative reviews only because it's a $20 game that came out originally when, like,
18 years ago.
yeah.
It
Probably
had to be a
longer
long
than that.
time.
20,
You know,
25?
So to call it a remaster, charge $20 for it when there are games that are coming out for much less money that are much better. I mean, I get that Final Fantasy VIII is a classic, but I don't know. I could kind of see a mediocre review for something that is costing me $20 that really didn't get much in the way of upgrades for a remaster.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I don't know what kind of stuff they did either. I know they apparently fixed a few things, but outside of that, like I haven't heard about performance or graphic updates. I don't know if there's any of that.
I'm not sure. I think they did the speed thing, right? The speed upgrade.
Game speed boost, and you can set no random encounters.
That's
Which
the
is
only
always
things
nice.
I care about.
Yeah, those get out of hand for sure.
Okay. Anything else, Eric?
I think that's all I got for Nibble Bits. I didn't
Okay.
look super hard, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of stuff coming out of PAX, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, no, I think if we had done this tomorrow, we could have had a ton with the
The Nintendo
stuff. But
yeah. So I've got a couple too. Telltale Games is going to be back from the dead apparently. So a company called LCG Entertainment is bringing back the name, I guess, and also plans to sell some of Telltale's back catalog and will also work on new games based on Telltale associated properties and licenses.
yeah, have you heard what's going on with that though?
No, I haven't heard anything since that.
The people that are calling themselves Telltale now had nothing to do with old Telltale. Have no intention of hiring any of the old devs.
Okay, so they're just using the name.
Yeah, a whole bunch of the old devs came out on Twitter and was like, "This is ridiculous."
Huh.
So something to think about.
Did they at least like buy the trademark or like?
Oh, I'm sure that's all they did was they bought the name.
Uh huh.
But I wouldn't be super excited about anything they put out in the future.
Sure. It says negotiations for Telltale's rights began 6 months ago and were purchased from a company assigned by the creditors of the original Telltale. Purchase price has not been announced, but despite the incredibly complex negotiations, O'Tilly proceeded with the deal because of his belief in the future of adventure games. The new studio will be based in Malibu, California, with publisher Athlon Games handling storefront operations and distribution. So, okay. So that was the next nibble bit. I think I had one more. Oh, Gears 5. Gears 5 comes out in a couple days now, I guess. It actually comes out next week. But if you have the Game Pass, you can start playing it as of Thursday night.
Oh, cool.
But it has one level that's apparently 50 times bigger than anything in the previous Gears games, and I'm told it's kind of there's apparently some like BioShock Infinite elements in it. I don't know how they're gonna manage to do that, but I'm oddly excited for Gears of War 5.
Vehicles, right? It wasn't that.
Yep, there's a skit like there's some open world parts, and you go on like a Star Wars like skiff around there, and I don't know how else.
Now, do you guys think I could hop in on Gears of War 5 having not played a Gears of War game since Gears of War?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the Gears story at all. I really enjoy. I think Gears is at its best when you're playing the campaign co-op with somebody else.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I mean,
fun.
since it's
That.
Game Pass, I may as well give it a shot.
Yeah, that's my thought too. I probably wouldn't buy it, but I'm very excited to play it.
It's fun carnage.
Horde mode is a blast too. If you ever get
That's
the
true,
opportunity
yeah,
to play Horde
Horde
mode, that's a good time. So
Another game that's on Game Pass right now, Blair Witch.
yeah, I've got to try that.
Yeah, if anybody wants to be spooked, Blair Witch. I think my wife was trying to play it.
Okay.
She says it's scary.
Okay.
So there you go.
Good. I do want to try that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was it for my nibble bits. Yeah, Corey, how was your week?
You don't want me to give you any nibble bits, Dan?
Oh, I didn't know you had nibble bits. Go ahead. If you got
Count
nibble
me
bits,
out just like that.
if you got no, you usually don't when I ask you. So of course, when I don't ask you, you have some. So go ahead.
I don't know, nothing big. I just wanted to say that Spyro is now on Steam, the Reignited trilogy. It's also on Switch. You said, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Which is awesome. I know at least on Steam it's $40, $39.99.
Yep.
Probably worth it though for 3
Oh,
full games.
easily worth it. Definitely.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job remastering them too.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm actually looking at screenshots of this for the first time, and they made it look really good.
It looks really good. Yeah, I have it on Xbox, and I always complain about the 30 frames, but it actually runs really well on Xbox, and I believe the frame rates are uncapped on the PC version, so it's definitely worth a look there.
This almost looks like more of a complete remake.
Yeah,
That's how good it looks.
they did a fantastic job with that. I have only been able to play through the first one all over again. I haven't played through 2 and 3, but it's so good. I think it took me like 8 or 9 hours to beat the first one. Will's played through all of them like 2 or 3 times already. So I think he just bought it for PS4, even though he already has it on his Xbox One.
Nice.
I don't know if he wanted to play it because he's got a PS4 Pro now. I don't know if he wanted to play. I don't know if they do the better frame rates on that or if it's got 4K capability or not. But
A lot of games have the option now.
Yep. I like when they do console games that have the option of running 60 frames or at higher res. Wish they would do that more often. One thing I wanted to talk about with Gears too, and I forgot to bring this up when we talked about it, but you can play with keyboard and mouse on Xbox.
Ooh.
So if you're like me and have to play a shooter with a keyboard and mouse, you can do that with the Xbox version. So, Xbox version and PC version. So,
Who develops Gears of War?
Coalition, I think, is the developer.
Okay, well, thank you, Coalition, for making this game accessible.
Yeah, options, right?
Much appreciated.
Yeah, and that was Microsoft's big thing a couple years ago was accessibility, and they were going to do.
Yeah, that cool controller.
They have that sweet controller, and they were going to start doing more stuff with keyboard and mouse. But a lot of stuff hasn't gotten keyboard and mouse. I actually read Corey Metro Exodus on Xbox now has keyboard and mouse support too. So
Oh, nice.
that's going to be another one that I might even end up playing on the Xbox because of keyboard and mouse support.
Yeah,
That's
that game got away from me, so maybe I'll have to revisit it.
Yeah.
Great reviews, right? Or
Yeah.
am I crazy?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I reviewed pretty well.
Yep.
Another one of those free games I haven't tried yet.
Yeah. There's no time. I've got
No.
so many games I'm playing. It's ridiculous,
And now friggin' Warcraft is back.
Yep.
So
I've got to start finishing things because I get stressed when I don't finish my games and just leave them open ended.
Yep. Yep.
Anything else, Corey? Nibblebits?
Just quickly, yeah, Torchlight 2 officially launched for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One today. I think it's $20 on all of those systems. I thought I saw somewhere that they're adding additional content, but I could be wrong. I don't see that anywhere.
I
Or
feel
maybe
like
that's
that.
coming later.
I think it's coming later. I think I saw that in I want to say a Nintendo Direct. that they're coming out with more Torchlight content.
It could be. I know they're doing the Torchlight Frontiers, which is the MMO.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But I could have sworn there was more content for Torchlight 2. But in any case, it's a game we all loved.
Yep.
I don't want to speak for Eric. Eric, did you play the Torchlight?
I also loved Torchlight 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And the first one.
Highly recommended, especially if you're into the
Diablo-like games.
Yeah, Diablo. What do they call those?
Diablo clone.
What do they call it? A brawler?
Action RPGs?
Yeah, action RPG, brawler.
Isometric action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That works. Yep.
Let's get it as complicated as possible.
Yep. And my last one, Hearthstone's next solo adventure is called Tombs of Terror. It's the expansion, the single-player content for the Saviors of Uldum expansion. I'm only bringing this up because I've recently started and gotten into Hearthstone again. I think it's that time of year. Summer's over, so I've been playing more Rocket League and more Hearthstone again. But I'm actually really excited for this because it's based on the League of Explorers Hearthstone expansion, which wasn't a part of Warcraft lore originally. I don't know if it's since made its way into any other Warcraft properties. Do you know, Eric, the League of Explorers?
No, I have no idea.
But anyway, it was my favorite expansion in Hearthstone, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do with these single-player adventures, which are, in my opinion, a blast. If you're worried about the accessibility of Hearthstone, you can play the single player and still have a great time, because I'm doing it.
Nice.
And that's it.
Okay. How was your week, Corey?
It's pretty good. I did a couple firsts this weekend. We were away for Labor Day, and we were staying at my girlfriend's family up in the Adirondacks. Her grandmother owns a cottage, and they have a big family get-together every Labor Day weekend. So they were all staying in the cottage. We got a campsite. The first night, my fiance did not sleep very well, and the other couple we were staying with at the campsite did not sleep very well either. So the second night, they decided they were going to sleep at the cottage, so I decided I would camp by myself for the very first time, alone in the wilderness.
And?
It was awesome.
Did you feel
He's here. He did fine.
Did you feel like Bear Grylls?
Not really, because like we were drinking at the cottage, and then the campground was literally right across the street. So I just hopped in the car and drove to the campsite once everybody was calling it a night, and so I pretty much just walked from the car into the tent and passed out.
Nice.
But it was Sunday night. Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday nights. And I don't know, Dan, what you had in your neck of the woods, but it poured all night.
Yeah.
Rain. Come to find out there were storms too, but those didn't really wake me up at all. But yeah, just in the tent in the rain was pretty nice feeling. Pitch black.
Did you stay dry though?
Yeah, the tent's waterproof, and I have a pretty good sleeping bag that kept me really warm and dry. It's one of those mummy sleeping bags rated for like 20 degrees. So all that really sticks out is my eyes and nose. The rest of me is wrapped up.
Nice.
Swaddled like a little baby.
All right.
But it was perfect because all I could hear was the rain, and I had my phone, and I played a little Flower. I don't know if you guys remember the PlayStation, company's Flower.
I do, yeah.
So I had the headphones in, listening to that, and then the rain in the background was really...
That must have been so zen.
Really, yeah, it was a really nice feeling. So that was one first, camping alone for the first time, and I only had a few fleeting frights. I kept visualizing somebody coming with just like a wood chopping axe and just hitting me in the head through the tent. You know, like I would never know. That's all that really freaked me out.
Yeah, you
wildlife.
Wouldn't see it coming.
Right. Yeah, that was the only scenario that freaked me out in my head. But there was that. But then on the way back, we stopped at Burger King, and I got to try the Impossible Burger for the first time, which is the meatless. I think it's veggie burger, but it's meant to taste exactly like beef.
How was it?
Texture and consistency and flavor and everything. Yeah, I didn't notice any difference. I got the Impossible Whopper. Whopper's Burger King.
Yep.
Impossible Whopper. And I didn't think it tasted any different from a normal Whopper. Maybe if I tried them side by side, I might be able to tell a difference, but
sure.
No,
Wow.
was pretty much exactly the
The
same.
Whopper too has a lot of flavorful veggies, so I feel like that's a good
Right.
burger if you're gonna try it, because it's got strong onions and pickles and.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but it was nice to try because I've been hearing a lot about it. I don't know, like, nutrition facts wise, if it's any healthier.
I don't think it's much better for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd probably be about the same amount of calories, so I guess
Yeah.
it would just depend on whether you want beef in your system or whatever those things are made out of.
I'd be interested to see what they're made out of. I've never looked into it, but probably soy, maybe some beans.
Yeah. Well, pretty soon we're gonna have the lab-grown meat,
Yeah.
which is actual meat. It's just
grown in
grown in a lab.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm
It's the end of world
curious.
hunger. Let's do it.
I'm curious to try it. Like, I know it's probably not going to taste different, but I'm more curious to see like what I'm going to be thinking when I know that my meat was grown in a laboratory and not cut from an animal. Because did I ever tell you my eggplant story? I don't know if I told you.
Oh yeah, the first time you had like eggplant parm.
Yeah, I had eggplant parm. I didn't know it was eggplant parmesan, so I was, eating it away. It was delicious, and I asked. It was at a family graduation party, so I asked my aunt what it was, and she told me it was eggplant parmesan, and I could not bring myself to have one more bite. I thought it was chicken parm, and when it was chicken parm, it was fine, but I could not eat it when I found out it was eggplant.
What do you have against eggplant?
Nothing. I just couldn't. I could not bring myself to eat it.
Huh.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Mental block.
The difference between expectations and reality just wasn't jiving in your head.
It was delicious. I just couldn't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm sure I'll have that same. I don't know if I'm sure, but I probably will have the same. No, I won't. Never mind. I'll just eat it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Here's a hypothetical. Would you guys eat human meat if it was grown in a lab?
That's a really good one.
That's a loaded question. Probably not.
I would.
I was going probably yeah.
Yeah. Just to try it, just for science.
It's chicken, right?
Chicken tastes like chicken. Human, the other. So what would they call that? Soylent
Green.
Soylent Green. Well, because it's not. I mean, it would have to have a different name because it's not technic. Would it be? I don't know. Technically human.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if
Is
it's
it
based on
human if it's not sentient?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. That's a question for the philosophers.
Would it taste as good if it doesn't have a soul?
Probably not. I only eat my human meat with souls.
Only when I've hunted it myself.
Oh man, that was a futurology. What's the phrase when? Anyway, in any case, I just had a vision of like a futuristic menu that listed two types of human meat, one with souls and one without. The one with souls being much more expensive.
That should be your next.
Course.
That's your next book idea, Corey.
Yeah, right. Last thing I wanted to bring up. There's a lot of good TV that's starting to come out. The Dark Crystal just launched on Netflix, and it's awesome.
That's out?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. If you're into the movie, I highly recommend it. I think it's awesome. They rely mostly on practical effects, and it's all the Jim Henson style Muppets. I think it's still the Jim Henson Company. It's good stuff.
I've been looking forward to that. The game looks good too, which is weird.
Well, I don't know anything about the game.
It's a tactics game.
The Dark Crystal?
Yeah.
There's a tactics game?
There's a tactics game coming out for it. Yeah, and it's
Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics.
Yeah.
It's on Steam.
That's awesome.
Is it on Steam now or it's coming out, right?
It's like there's a page.
Oh,
on
okay.
Steam. The release date still says 2019.
Okay. Yeah. Look
I can't tell if
for
it looks good or really bad. Personally.
I think it looks interesting.
That's gonna have to be a wait and see. It does look interesting though. It looks like it could be like a Final Fantasy Tactics thing.
There's a little more environmental interaction than tactics.
Sure. Also, Carnival Row is on Amazon Prime now, which is the Orlando Bloom alternate reality wherein fae creatures are on Earth, and there's a lot of allegory to like illegal aliens and all that kind of stuff. We only watched the first episode, and I felt like it was very dimly shot, which kind of turned me off a little bit, because I couldn't really see what was going on. So I'm gonna have to wait and see the second, third episode to make a determination on that one. But it's an interesting concept, and the trailers had me really excited. But after the first episode, I'm not too into it.
You didn't turn up your brightness on your TV?
I did all the way.
Oh, really? And it was still
and
too dark?
I still couldn't really see. I don't know if it's just something weird about that specific show that I need to alter some settings in my TV, like change some color settings or something. I don't know, but I had everything as bright as could be.
Did you have any issues with the Game of Thrones episode that was too dark for a lot of people?
No.
Okay. I was just curious because some of it was like, it was actual like people's TVs just didn't like. I don't know if they didn't produce the image correctly or.
That could be. I mean, I don't know because I have the TCL with the HDR and the 4K and everything, but sometimes I do wonder if there's some picture quality setting or
that's
feature
wrong.
that my TV does not have, because I have noticed that from time to time. But anyway, that's Carnival Row. We're also watching The Boys. I don't know if you guys have watched The Boys on Amazon Prime.
I've heard amazing things, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, of all the shows, maybe this year that I've watched, I think The Boys is my favorite. If you're not familiar, it's about a team of superheroes, 7. They're called the 7, but I get really tired of all the superhero stuff all the time. But this is very much the dark side of superheroes. So there's these 7 superheroes that are basically a 4th branch of the U.S. government. And they're not as good as they seem on the surface. I think it's in the first episode, but what happens is the guy who runs really fast, I forget his name, A-Train or something like that. He just runs like lightning fast. The main character of the show is walking with his girlfriend or wife or fiance or something, and she like steps into the street and they're holding hands and talking, and all of a sudden she just explodes. Like into a million little pieces of flesh, and the main character looks over and it's that A-Train guy who runs lightning fast crashed into her and exploded her. And then he just takes off. So it's pretty dark, but it's also really funny, and the characters are awesome. So if you get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it.
Okay,
I'm in.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Did you ever see that that Rainn Wilson superhero movie that I can't think of the name of?
No.
I think it's Super.
Super, yeah. Super was really good.
Okay, I've heard that, and I've wanted to watch that because I prefer the offbeat superhero movies too. I really liked the first Kick-Ass.
Yep.
Also,
yeah,
like
that was really good.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than your typical superhero stuff.
I also really like Deadpool. So if you like those kind of versions of superheroes, I definitely recommend The Boys.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, my wife was actually talking about that Orlando Bloom one you were talking about, Carnival.
Yep, Carnival Row.
Interested in that Carnival Row, yeah.
What else are we watching? I feel like there was one other thing. Oh, we're watching Bachelor in Paradise, but you guys don't watch that, so
yeah, we already knew you were watching that. You didn't even need to tell us.
I catch bits and pieces of it.
Because
my wife will flip it on like as we're getting the kids ready for bed, and I'll watch a little bit of it before I come downstairs to do my podcasts and game video stuff.
Yep. But I encourage any listeners that are watching Bachelor in Paradise, I encourage them to write in and let's keep a dialogue going on the show.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I can chime in a little bit. Like I said, I know a few of the people, and
we should start a Bachelor podcast.
I was just about to say this is now a Bachelor podcast.
Yep, taking over.
Which exist, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Bachelor podcasts.
All right.
There used to be one called Rose Buddies.
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's real. Yeah.
That's adorable.
Oh no.
Nice. All right, Eric, what do you got for us? What do you got going on?
My week was okay. Played a lot of Warcraft over the weekends. I don't know if I ever told you guys like what I do for my job. Like
I don't think so.
I'm in international exports, so I like do logistics and stuff for companies, like trying to export stuff from here to everywhere else.
That's cool.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a giant hurricane off of the East Coast
Oh yeah,
of the
Dorian.
country right now. And it made my day maybe the worst work day I've had in a really long time.
Oh man.
Oh,
Because
no.
like all the ports are closed, and like people are like, our Savannah office was evacuated, and like today was a nightmare. But outside of that, I had a great week so far.
Okay.
So
Outside of the one terrible day.
Is it just a matter of rerouting everything?
It's a matter of rerouting everything, and like everything is shut down. So like some of our cargo's like in a truck on the side of the road, just like waiting for the hurricane to pass, and like the shipping companies like don't want to extend like documentation times, but like we can't get numbers because the warehouse is closed, and like all sorts of just logistical garbage.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. But I'll also push a TV show since Corey did.
Uh-huh.
Great British Baking Show, new season. You know you guys are interested in that. You
Yeah.
can't even lie to me.
Yeah. So, Sophie, my fiance, watches it. I've seen a few episodes. I understand the appeal.
I
love it.
I wouldn't be interested if it was American, but because it's British, yes, I am interested.
It's so good, Dan. It's so good. It's wholesome and sweet, and it's amazing. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a new season, and it's actually the current season. Like I think we're getting it on Netflix 3 days after it airs in the UK.
Wow, that's
Something
pretty
like
cool.
that.
Nice.
So like you can't binge the whole season, but like it's like a TV show that you
Right.
can watch on Netflix.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, quick side note: if you like those like weird kind of superhero movies, if you haven't seen American Ultra, you should look it up.
Okay.
I have not.
Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, really bad, really cheesy. I think you'd enjoy it.
Wow. I never would have pictured those two in the same movie.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good.
Okay.
Actually.
Cool.
So yeah, you guys should check that out.
All right.
And that's
Definitely
me.
check that out.
Okay. Let's see. What do I have? The only thing I have to talk about is I still my Joy-Cons are still not back yet. I actually,
cow.
yeah, it's it'll be 3 weeks tomorrow since they even received them. I shipped them out 3 weeks ago today. So I ended up buying myself a PowerA wireless Pro controller. It's actually quite nice. It's got most of the features that you would expect. It doesn't have rumble and it doesn't have amiibo support, but it does have motion controls. So someone like me who's playing like Breath of the Wild or whatever, when I need to aim with that because otherwise I'm rubbish with aim. So I haven't actually tried it out with that, but I got it because the one Joy-Con we have left, since it's gotten so much use because our other Joy-Cons are gone, it's drifting now too, and drifting worse than any of our other ones were. So I was trying to play Astral Chain, which is the precision movement, because it's an action game. I couldn't do it with the Joy-Con. It wouldn't just go up or down, or it went all directions and was all squirrely, and I don't know. Oof. It was a pain to play. So I got that to mostly to play that until my Joy-Cons finally come back. But I quite like it so far. Apparently it's got like 30-hour battery life. Feels decently nice in the hands. Probably not as nice as the actual Switch Pro controller, but it was like $33 instead of, I think the Pro controllers still go for $61. So they've got a bunch of different colors and looks to them too. I got the cheapest one, which was white with red on the back. Kind of plain looking, but also like kind of sharp looking too. So if you're looking for a Pro controller option other than the actual Pro controller, it's a good pick, I think.
Cool.
Definitely needed the motion control. Motion tilt controls.
Have you played much Astral Chain, Dan?
About 3 hours.
What early impressions?
So yeah, I'll talk about that during what we played, which actually we can transition right into right now.
Sweet.
So yeah, Astral Chain, of course, is the newest game. I actually want to do an episode on this, but we'll see. I've only played 3 hours, so I can only give first impressions. It's the newest game from Platinum, so if you've played any Platinum games like Bayonetta or Wonderful 101 or Nier Automata, it's in the same vein. And what it is you're a police force that's that's got to protect this. There's this city that I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's like the last place on Earth that's safe for people to live, and it's being invaded by like interdimensional beings, and you have your own interdimensional being that you use to help fight other interdimensional beings. And of course, if you're familiar with Platinum games, you know that the combat is like the shining, I don't know, whatever. It's why you play a Platinum game. And it actually in Astral Chain starts off a little bit slow. And I was, because I had to shelve it for a little bit before I got my controller, I was reading a little bit about it on like Reddit and stuff, and everyone's like, wait till the end of the third chapter, the third file it's called. And that's when things kind of come together, because you don't really have any abilities like right off the bat. It takes like an hour and a half for you to start unlocking everything. But once you do, it becomes a Platinum game like you would expect, and it's a very tightly controlled, beautiful looking dance when you're like just dancing around, because you're attached by the reason why it's called Astral Chain is because you're attached to your deity by a chain. And the way that those interact with each other, it makes me think a little bit of Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. How you control the different characters. There's a little bit of that in Astral Chain. So like you have a chain, so you can press a button to control the deity instead of your character. I think it's you hold down the left trigger and you can move the deity guy with the right stick. So you can wrap the chain around to do a paralyzing move, or if they're going to dash towards you, you can separate your two characters, and when they dash into the chain, it does like a clothesline thing. You can fling your character or the deity character into the oncoming enemies with like rubber banding almost. It's quite impressive, the combat system. And as far as looks too, it looks incredible. I don't know how they were able to get the game looking that good on the Switch. It's the graphics are unbelievable. Like it's surprising. It's kind of cell shaded, but also like neon. Very very stylized. It's very anime too. If you kind of hate anime, it's probably not your thing. But because there's a lot of anime type stuff that happens in it. But yeah, it's quite a good game. There's a lot of other stuff going on with it too. A lot of upgrading stuff that I haven't really experienced yet. There's like different objectives you have. It's not just going through and fighting one thing or the other. There's cases you have to solve because you're a police officer, so you gather. One of the most recent things I did was gather evidence. It almost reminded me gather evidence for a case. It almost reminded me of Batman Arkham Asylum, kind of. Not quite that complex, but some elements of that in addition to the of course awesome combat system. So yeah, I've really, really enjoyed that so far. I really would like to get, because even though I got a controller, it's inconvenient to play. Like I've been playing it in tabletop mode. It's not particularly convenient. So I'll be able to like sink a lot more time with it once I get my stupid Joy-Cons back.
Cool.
But yeah, I like it so far.
Reviewed pretty well.
Yeah, reviewed very well. Platinum has another hit on their hands, I think. But I'm looking forward to Bayonetta 3 now. Just playing that.
I was just about to say, Bayonetta 3 is right around the corner, too. Mm-hmm. So.
But I think so far my favorite Platinum game is Nier. Nier Automata, yeah.
It's mine, too.
It's so good. Did you play that one, Corey?
Yeah, I didn't get as...
Did you play it enough times?
No, I never even beat it once.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It was one of those games that I didn't play when it first came out, and then just kind of got away from me.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I played that. I also played Pokemon Masters, which is the newest Pokemon game, Pokemon mobile game, I should say. It's different in that instead of having one trainer where you have a party of Pokemon, you play it's all like single player. As far as I've played so far, I've maybe played 3 or 4 hours of Pokemon Masters. You are a team of 3 trainers with 1 Pokemon each. One trainer with 1 Pokemon is called a sync pair. So you have to mix and match types based on the team that you're going to be fighting against. So like your character starts off with a Pikachu. And then you start off the game with Brock, who has a rock type, who has Onyx, and then Misty, who has the I believe it's Starmie. So yeah, you and as you progress in the game, you get gems, and it's the whole microtransaction stuff. You get gems to unlock new sync pairs that you can have on your team, and you can level those up with new moves and level them up with just their levels. You can add abilities and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's worth a shot. It's free. I guess you don't have to spend money, even if you do. Apparently, later on in the game, it does get a little grindy if you don't want to spend money, but it's free. Yeah, so also worth a shot if you're interested in Pokemon and want to play something Pokemon mobile.
Apparently, it had 10 million downloads in 4 days.
Holy
I believe it.
So
there's a lot of people talking about it and on Nintendo Reddits and stuff. So yeah, it's not bad. It's worth a shot. Anyway.
Sounds like a lunch break game.
Yeah, it's a great lunch break game. It's also one of the things that differentiates it. It's like a real-time battle instead of like turn-based, like old Pokemon games. So you have a charger for your attacks on the bottom, and each attack uses at least from what I've seen, 1 or 2 of the bars that charge. So, and obviously because it's 3 Pokemon versus 3 Pokemon, you have to choose who you're going to attack with what abilities, and it's pretty interesting so far.
Cool.
But that's all I played. I think I had something up. We've been playing Mario Kart and Smash just about every night, but my kids start school on Thursday, so it'll probably be less frequently that we play Smash and Mario Kart 8. So,
Nice.
Yeah, Corey, did you play anything?
Yeah, I played a little Fallout 4.
Oh, yeah.
My first experience with that game was not great. I think my original criticism was that it was okay up until the point where you get to the Institute, and then it kind of just went downhill from there. This second playthrough, though, I'm taking my time a little bit more and kind of focusing more on role-playing my character, which I mean, it's tough to say like that's the way to play those games, but I guess like for me to really enjoy them, I really do need to just slow down, take my time, and not focus on the main story at all. Just kind of get lost on my own.
Yeah. As I feel like you did the same thing with Skyrim the first time you played Skyrim.
Yeah, well, the issue with Skyrim was we were doing an episode on it, so
and you
I
wanted to have
play
it beaten.
through it. Yeah. And maybe it was the similar case with Fallout. I wanted to get as far as I possibly could in that to have a full opinion of the game. But but I still feel like all my criticisms for those games and playing them that way still stand, because there's nothing in there that says, like, this is how you should play the game, or don't rush the main story. Like there's many routes through those games, and I think they all should be equally valid, and the game should be able to stand on its own no matter the route through the game that you take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Just kind of slowing down gives me more appreciation for some of the writing. Just talking to the characters and letting their voice acting play out and stuff like that adds a little bit more to the game than just like clicking through to get a result rather than just enjoying the experience. I'm role-playing a woman whose name is Mary Sue, and she's got a old-style bob.
Nice.
What do they call those dudes?
Yeah,
I don't know.
a bob. Not a beehive.
The beehive is the first thing my mind went to.
That's more like a Marge Simpson haircut, isn't it?
I guess so.
Is that what you're talking about, Corey? Like up, or is it down?
It's up, but it's not like a straight Marge Simpson afro.
That might be a beehive type of haircut. We might have been right on that,
Maybe.
Eric.
Yeah, kind of like a beehive. Yeah, I guess. But I boosted up her charisma and intelligence all the way. They're boosted those up to 10, so I'm focusing on like persuasion and hacking and stuff like that.
I see that you're also a man of culture. Correct way to play all RPGs.
Yeah. Are you doing like non-lethal?
Well, I'm realizing that I might not have a choice. I might need to play non-lethal because I can't kill anything. I just keep dying. I'm also playing on a little bit harder difficulty. I think I boosted up something that made the game a little harder. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how long it'll keep my interest. I think all it's going to take is for a game that I really like to new game to come out. And I know we've got a few coming down the pike, so we'll see. But so far, so good. That intro is really good. The intro to that
Yeah.
game, it's awesome.
I had Val play that on our rookie camp episode.
Yeah,
She loved it.
and I even took my time to read through all the content in that vault about the terminals and the experiments that they were doing and stuff like that. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mentioned that I had been playing Hearthstone, Rocket League. I don't really have anything new to say on those games. I feel like there was one other thing I played, but I still can't think of it. So I guess it's just gonna have to wait.
I'm trying to remember if you talked about it when we were playing World of Warcraft.
I don't know. I know I booted up No Man's Sky last week. Yeah, but that's it.
Okay.
I didn't play enough of that to really have any new thoughts on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh well.
Eric, you got anything?
I didn't play anything new, but Corey briefly mentioned a game apparently called Children of Morta that I'm going to try this week for sure.
Oh, nice.
Because I googled it after he said it and it looks amazing.
Yeah, what's that all about?
It looks like it's a kind of old school pixely graphics roguelite,
Uh-huh.
which I need more roguelikes in my life.
Of
Sure.
course.
I don't play enough.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks really good. He mentioned it in passing, and I googled it, and I was like, oh, okay, wish list.
Does look like it has a nice art style, that's for sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm also for sure going to play some Control this week.
Okay.
Which one's that? I've seen the review scores and I think it's doing really well, but I don't know anything about it.
Control is that new game from, I think it's Relic, the people who made Alan Wake.
Oh, okay.
You guys remember Alan Wake?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a. I've watched a little bit of it, like maybe the first 30 minutes or so on YouTube, and it looks really interesting. There's like a secretive agency hiding right in plain sight in New York City, and like, it looks like it kind of like investigates. It's like supernatural stuff. I don't know. It looks really good to me, but I'm for sure going to put a little bit of time in that this week.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that game, actually.
Yeah, for me it was kind of Control or Astral Chain, and I went with Control this time around.
Okay. Children of Morta looks amazing. I actually heard that that's a little bit like Rogue Legacy.
It looks so cool.
Like with the lineages and stuff.
And I believe I saw it's on Switch.
Yes, it's coming to Switch and I think Xbox in October.
Awesome.
So.
Ooh, I wonder if it's going to be a Game Pass game. Do I buy it now or do I wait?
It's the roll of the dice.
That sucks.
Because I
Microsoft,
actually
give me free game.
I expected Rad to be on Game Pass, but it's not. I'm sure it will be at some point, but
That's actually the reason I'm not buying Rad.
Yeah.
Is because I want it to come out on Game Pass.
Yep,
'Cause I'm sure it will.
it
Because
will.
I think Microsoft bought that developer, didn't they?
yeah, they bought Double Fine. Yep.
Yeah. There's no reason why I should have to pay money for that.
Yep.
I already give money to Microsoft.
I totally agreed.
Do we know what the September Game Pass games are?
No.
I think that might have been Blair Witch.
Blair Witch I guess would be considered a September one because that came out on the 30th.
Torchlight 2, September 3rd.
Uh-huh.
Final Fantasy 8 remastered,
Oh wow, there you go.
apparently. I think that's all I'm seeing right now.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah, hold on. That might have been just completely wrong though. I could be reading from the wrong spot.
Yeah. Sometimes a quick Google search,
Fails.
you get rumors.
Okay, Hitman: The Complete First Season,
Okay. That's
available
good.
September 1st to 30th. We Were Here. I never heard of that one.
Nope.
Earth Defense Force 2025. That's a Xbox 360 game. And Tekken Tag Tournament.
Oh.
Also a 360 game.
Nice.
So the big one's going to be Hitman, which is cool. Another way for people who haven't played that to get it and play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played it, but I probably won't, unfortunately. Like I said,
Cool
I've got
game.
a lot. got a lot I'm playing right now. So, and there's just more games coming out.
I know. Isn't September the big Nintendo month?
September, yeah. Let's see, Link's Awakening is on the 20th. But they
God.
also, I know, they also announced Untitled Goose Game is coming out on the 20th.
What?
You guys familiar with that one?
No.
Oh man, it's an indie game where you play as like a asshole goose, and you just mess with people. That's the game.
Oh, I've seen videos of this.
Yes.
I thought it was a joke.
I thought it was a joke at first too. No, it's an actual game, and it is coming out on the 20th. So.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a video of this around E3, and I was like, "There's no way there's literally a game where I can be a goose and just run around and like turn people's hoses on and steal their keys." Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that one.
Neato.
It's going to be doing all the messing with people that I don't want to do as a person. You know, I'll do it as a goose. So, yeah, I think that's everything, right? Any other thoughts?
No.
No.
That's it.
All right. So possibly, most likely, Gears 5 next week, right, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope to be playing that on PC. I might actually try it on PC and Xbox, since apparently the cloud saves work across platforms, and then obviously keyboard and mouse is on the Xbox version. So,
oh neat.
I'd like to try both of them if possible.
It's awesome.
So. But yeah, hopefully I'm hoping to get back into a normal recording time next week too. We didn't end up having an episode last week, just because of crazy schedules and you know, busy and all that stuff, and we were doing our WoW videos. So next week it'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday. I'll keep everyone posted on social media. So that'll do it for episode 423 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Corey.
Eric.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement.